it all in-house. We feel that that's a better solution for our clients.
Basically, the Steelers is your past. So
Yeah. I used
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. You guys are listening to TechEDTV podcast and one more episode of TGI Friday with Dan Gudima. And today we have a great guest and a new expert, actually, in marketing. We have a real marketing expert here with a great agency, great background, very interesting story. How are you doing, Dan?
I am doing great. I had a bad back at one point. Oh, we went to the big Emerge conference. I'm recovering from that, standing around all day.
Well, I went there 2 days, actually. I went there today
God.
again because I left my camera here and I have very good footage.
Oh,
we're going to discuss that. We're going to discuss that. But I want you to introduce Bobby because you know him, and then who else better than you to make that intro?
Yeah. So Bobby Ruckstuhl, I know I'm not a good, I'm a good talker, but I'm not a good listener. So he has told me I just picked up that he had played professional football at one point, and then he got into digital marketing. As far as my company, SEO Turbo Booster, he is a reseller of our product.
Okay.
And we had, today somebody mentioned, bottom line, we promised him he'd be on a podcast, and today is the day, first time. But like I'm also telling you, Edwin, he can keep up with you and me. I know he can. So
I'm pretty sure he would.
We're this is like his tryouts today.
Oh,
it's like your first day. This is like football tryouts.
Yeah. This is just you're walking.
Walk on.
Great. Double
walk on. Yeah.
But he runs a pretty successful digital agency, but it's not really a digital agency. He has directory services he provides, and he dabbles in, W3, we call it, which is blockchain.
Oh, blockchain. Wow.
So he's really a wannabe tech startup guy. That's really what he is.
Okay, so let's say hi to Bobby. Good afternoon, Bobby.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Good. I'm doing great. Where are you based, actually? Where's your office? Where is that nice shark? Are you here in Florida?
In Ohio. So.
What? You thought you were in Florida because you're like have a shark behind you, I guess. Like,
no, not the shark. The shark's the universal symbol of taking a bite out of the trouble.
Like the Shark Tank guys.
Like the Shark Tank guys.
So tell us a little bit about you. I heard from Dan that you were a football player at one point, like, and you then transitioned into marketing. How? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, sure. Well, I played 13 years of semi-pro or minor league ball. I was in the USFL for a couple of years, and I had a very brief stint with the Steelers. I was an offensive lineman, short and wide. So that was back in the day when they didn't care about height as much. And so I played 13 years. I was inducted in the Minor Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1996 and transitioned. I had to grow up, met my wife. When we started dating, she said I had to grow up and get a real job. And so that's how I transitioned into the marketing and sales world.
But what percentage of ex-football players are in digital marketing today?
Probably
there's a handful in it.
0.001%.
Yeah. Handful would be generous, but yeah.
Okay.
But the name of your agency, tell us a bit about your new agency now that you're basically the Steelers is your past. So
I used to be somebody.
No, you're actually now you're a better buddy. You're like, you're here.
So 6 years ago, we created Intelacomm, which is our parent company, and we created a digital index called ResourceShark. ResourceShark is our own proprietary digital platform. So unlike Yelp or other advertising indexes, we don't rely on Google to be the primary driver of all of our services. Our clients get listed on our index, which of course is available via Google, but instead of paying Google to market us, we utilize it. We created a term called multi-dimensional connectivity. So multi-dimensional connectivity is a concept where we have our clients listed on an index that's searchable, that we market and advertise. We develop their websites, whether they have an existing website or we build them a website, and we do the keyword structuring, content improvement, all the linking, backlink, front link. We do all the rich content. We do all in-house. We don't outsource any of the content writing. And then we do the social media content and blasting and posting as well. And the whole concept is that's the multidimensional connectivity. We're marketing ResourceShark for people to search and find a B2B solution. We market our clients' websites. We use all of the social media platforms, and we connect them all together with the content and linkage.
But Bobby, really, from what I've seen, you guys do, everybody else is outsourcing and pushing it to India and sending things to younger employees. You guys do everything yourself.
Yeah, right? We do it all in-house. We feel that that's a better solution for our clients. If we have a client that needs to talk to us, if they have some event, some change in their scheduling, in their planning, they have a real-time opportunity. It avails them to live direct staff that can react and respond to the opportunities that the clients have. So it's a real-time effect. Plus, without, I know we're going to talk about automation, but part of the relationship that we build with clients is actually to get their voice, how they want to sound, not how I want to sound or how a machine wants them to sound. It's their voice that we get broadcast through all the different publishing methods.
Excellent. And then how big is your team, Bobby?
We have a half a dozen internal content writers. We've got 4 web developers and tech. And then a host of sales staff as well.
And who you manage the directory yourself? Or you have like or the staff manages everything, the directory? Okay.
Yeah, no, our DevOps manages our directory and hosting. Our team manages our internally. So we internally host everything. We do not cloud base our hosting as well. So everything's protected internal, all of our internal security. So we're more comfortable with that, less access.
This is something that Edwin likes himself. He likes
I like control because
I don't.
Well, I mean, for some things you have to keep certain control, because if you leave everything to Amazon, in a way you lose control, because now Amazon controls you.
Yeah.
And then not only that,
experience that too.
And then they can steal your clients. I mean, they have done. I mean, not I'm saying that they have done it before, but they could. I mean, if they wanted to.
I've only really been with one hoster for the last 20 years, and that hoster, it's a long story, but Liquid Web. I don't know if I told you that before, Bobby. That's our hoster, is Liquid Web.
Okay.
For all my businesses, they're actually not a hoster. They got out of the hosting business, and they support like 90% of the hosting companies. So if you say you're a hosting company, you could be Liquid Web. But the thing about it is, when I was originally a system administrator, I could get on and do Linux work myself and everything. But the reality is, I have worked with them and chose them because at 3 o'clock in the morning, when the servers are down, they'll answer the phone and act like a team, like with me. And that is all that's about.
So they can be next to you at 3 a.m.
And sometimes the 3 o'clock guy is better than the 4 p.m. guy. I mean, it's hard to believe. And they always have guys, like the best guys are in the middle of the night, and they work on my problem with me. They just join in. I worked for a hosting company, Bobby, before for 4 years. And it's like I'm back in the hosting company on that at 2 a.m. That's what I need.
Great. And then what do you think are the new trends then, like in terms of automation, and how can they benefit directories like ResourceShark?
Well, I don't know if I told this to Bobby, and I can't reveal the other guy that I met, but there's another directory owner. I'm not going to say his name. He's been around for 20 years. He said to me, Bobby, he said, Dan, I'm going to open up and show you into my Google Analytics for a second. And I think he did this on purpose. As he opened it up, Bobby, I look and I'm like, 700 people. So I was like, 700 visitors in the last 30 minutes. I was like, oh my God. Okay. Like, and I'm a Google Analytics guy. I've never seen, I've seen a million because I worked for a multi-billion-dollar corporation, but I've never seen a directory that had that much visitation.
In 1 hour.
Yeah. In like 1 hour, he had 54,000 listings. I'll just say that you won't be able to figure them out. But if you go and you look up the top 10 directories, he's in the top 10, Bobby. And so you're on the right path, Bobby. I know you are, because you keep building authority when you're a director. You keep building authority on the authority you have with more pages and more content and more information. So
we broke into the top 100 last year.
Terrific.
Wow, congratulations!
Terrific.
Thanks.
I mean
And how is that like to everybody here that is a little bit ignorant in marketing? Why is that important to being a director? Why directors are important? Can you explain that to the audience?
Sure. So being in a directory gives you an additional component on searchability. And then when you're building that links and, real simple, Google has bots scraping constantly. And those bots are looking for locations. They're looking for links. They're looking for content. They're looking for original. That's why the SEO Turbo Booster solution is so important. That constant generation of new links, new content, local specifics helps build all of those site authorities. All of that's combined into what we do on the directory with ResourceShark. So when a client is on ResourceShark, they're getting the benefit of the marketing and the advertising. They're getting the links, they're getting the keywording, and they're getting the traffic volume, and it's all associated to their sites as well. So again, that overlap.
So that's ultimately it's so important for users. Users don't sometimes ignore that, and then they're just launch a new website, and then just basically sometimes the more sophisticated ones may create a sitemap and load it into Google, and I think that's it. They don't do anything else, and then they I think like the whole strategy. And we were talking about that before that is like the do-it-yourself. I think they waste too much time thinking that they're magically are going to race to the top, and that's not going to happen. There's no magic. There's no magic.
Yeah. Well, they make
so that's where you come in, right, Bobby?
Yeah, good intentions, but make mistakes. Like they'll have multiple sites still operating simultaneously. So they're competing against themselves. The little simple errors that actually become negative value on
Can I clarify that? Because I've made this mistake. What Bobby's saying is something, Edwin, you've probably made a mistake about. So you go and buy 3 more domains, and then the first thing you do, this is the worst thing you can do, is go on those 3 domains and list all the other sites with links. What you've done is taken a 0 domain authority page you've put up on a brand new site and pointed at your site, and it brings it down.
Yeah. Well, that's a lesson for everyone here. Also like in the incubator business, because I think that's a very, very big mistake. People will be like, oh, let me just buy like the misspelled name for my company, and then or something similar, or a competitor name, and then basically you shoot yourself in the foot with that.
But the way that it should work, that is smart. Like for instance, we just in my dating event company stuff, my wife's company, we just bought 10 new domains, and Bobby, I just bought 10 new domains. They're all between 2001, 2003. Picked them up. So they're aged domains, but they don't have domain authority right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a page out there, and we're going to point from the existing domain authority, the high domain authority page to that page. That's the way to do it.
Yes.
So you bought 3 new pages, you put those links, I call them, on all my sites, Edwin, you'll see mentions. I call it the mentions page. I call it the links page, the resources page. I put links to the other sites to kind of work them. And you know what I've been doing, Bob? We have an event here next week on Tuesday.
On Tuesday, yeah. We have 2 events. That one, and then we have May 26th, AI Day.
We have AI Day.
Or you wanted to call it AI Connect, which I think is not bad.
When I create 3 meetups, and I created 1 Eventbrite. On all 3 of these, on all 4 of these pages online, I put all the links, Bobby, of all our sites. Now, those are not the best links. They're decent, but they're from a meetup with decent authority. They're called Bobby, maybe you understand. I've been trying to figure this out. They're called the no follow links versus the follow. What are your thoughts on that?
Any link is a benefit.
There you go. There you go.
Bad or no bad, as long as that's one of the things people don't understand when it is SEO and how do we found first on Google, is that there are series of combination of techniques that need work, need attention. and one of those is the creating the backlinking or the follow linking. So tell us a little bit about your experience on that, and then how can you help an entrepreneur that just had like a new site, and how can they increase their value proposition to the search engines?
So one of the first base system or step is when you create all of your listing information is continuity. So very often what we see are people want to list themselves on multiple indexes, so their GMB account or their Facebook account, and then on their site they'll list an address. So they'll list the address out and they'll use different abbreviations. So instead of suite, they'll put in STE or SUI or a pound sign or something. So all these different little nuances. So when they're getting on these different platforms where they have a listing, they again start creating competition amongst themselves, because as Google's scraping, they're looking for that. They're looking for the continuity. Where are all of these places listed? And if you're on 5 different indexes with 5 deviations of addresses, Google considers that to be 5 competing businesses.
So even if you slightly change suite for STE, or just go like a apartment number or number or whatever, you're shooting yourself in the foot because you don't have that consistency.
Correct. Road versus RD period. Lane versus LN. You know, so Ohio.
Little things that are basically like entrepreneurs sometimes, because they're so busy with so many things, they simply can handle because they don't have the time. But
Right.
like I was telling Dan, I think it's like people think, oh, I'm not going to spend the money in a marketing agency. I don't have that money. But what they don't account is the opportunity cost, because those 3 or 4 months, they figured out that nothing happened in the last 4 months. In fact, they are in page 20 on the search. Then those are time valuable that they miss completely to at least to reach to pay for.
Bobby, the worst of the worst startups, because we're in this incubator, we're gonna actually have 7 or 8 pitches next Tuesday, and the worst of the worst is a mobile app. The mobile app that has a 1-page site that like how are they getting customers? I don't understand. Like, so I've seen many mobile apps that have a 1-page, not very well done SEO site over and over. It's almost not happening anymore. They go out of business. They never get any traffic. They never get business.
And one more problem I think entrepreneurs have is that whenever they have a marketing budget, they usually go to India, right? They go to Philippines. Yeah. And I have several cases where the Filipino people simply all of a sudden, because they have to handle control of the WordPress site to that team, then they start getting hacked, and they're getting more ransomware. They're getting I will save it. Now they want $200 to return the password, or like we have the virus or whatever. Yeah. And then you're like, there you go. You thought you saved $300, but now you have to pay the $300 to a hacker, plus whatever you pay for the marketing. And now you don't know if that ransomware actually killed your ranking, right?
Hey,
Google rank.
Edwin, before we move on, I wanted Bobby to hear a little bit about your experiment with. I was telling him that you're a bit of a scientist here, and you have this experiment where you've been taking these podcasts, you converted them to text, and then you've been interacting that with ChatGPT and generating. Basically, he could generate a book from this interview.
In fact, yeah, let me tell you the experiment that I've been conducting. It's like like a mad scientist.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we made TGI Friday last week, and we're gonna do this with you, actually, Bobby, with all your permission or not. It's gonna happen. So we're going to basically grab the text, transcribe it with one of the text to speech to text, and then when we have the data, then we can summarize it and make smaller segments that we can convert now from text to speech. Now we can make this podcast with variation of our voices or different personas, let's say, that could be in multiple languages now. Mm-hmm. Now we can make it into, let's say we have a 20-minute segment or 40-minute segment or whatever. Let's make it 3 minutes, and then let's ChatGPT summarize that, like make a summary of 1-minute segments, let's say, right? And then we make that into one podcast. Then we make another one that is going to be more like a translation to another language. And then we can actually provide now a book, because now we can summarize, but we can expand, right? We can elaborate. So as we were saying about ranking, domain authority, whatever, so we can have keywords. Okay, ChatGPT, what is domain authority? How do you increase domain authority? Well, why is domain authority important for SEO? And then now this little podcast that it started with a little bit of like a chit chat could be a book, because now we have ChatGPT to enhance the concept. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to be questioning, oh, domain authority, I heard of that before. Oh, yeah, page ranking, I heard of that before. Yeah, SEO, yeah, that's important. Sitemap, what is that? So they will try to figure out those things on their own, and maybe they don't know. But if we have provided them with a book at the end of the next week and say, look, download the PDF here. This is the PDF that is derived for this podcast, so you understand the entire podcast. Now you will learn. Number two, if you don't have time, you can listen to the 3-minute version of the podcast that is computer summarized by ChatGPT. And all of a sudden, you have a new cycle of creation of new content, basically, like that.
And you're going to provide this for Bobby for his site, right?
Yeah, we can do it for your site, correctly. So then it will be automation there, and then we're doing some automation. I wanted to show you one of the automations we're working on right now for Dr. Amos here. Let's see if we can find this file. Dr. Amos and myself, I'm working with him. He's another startup here. He's into the medical business, and he has a company called MedMatch. So let's see the video.
Your virtual assistant.
Hello, Eda.
Hey, Larry, how may I help you?
Please schedule an appointment with my primary care doctor.
Just to confirm, your primary care physician is Dr. John Smith, on 344 Northeast 3rd Street, Suite 400, New York City, New York.
Correct.
Any time in particular?
So the idea is that now you will follow up with like, okay, like, oh, Eda, it's like a settlement appointment. But I'm seeing I think we're scratching the surface of what this GPT revolution will do for us, right? We're scratching the surface. And marketing is an area where obviously this could be useful to enhance our capabilities as humans, right? Because if you want to do what we said before we're going to do with the podcast, then you'll be like, oh, I need to hire 20 people. I need to hire a guy to edit. I need a translator now. I need to pay somebody to translate that. All that stuff is gone. It will take like a few hours, and the computer software will do the work. And then now is everything I was telling Dan into the future will be more of the creativity of the mind. Those people like you that are like entrepreneurs that have the drive, those are going to have more impact with less resources.
So Edwin, one thing that Bobby and I have talked about past, because he's my reseller for SEO Turbo Booster, he's got some amazing customers. So is it possible? So we're going to do this with you, Bobby. Then maybe possibly in the future, you'll show this to your customer.
Yeah.
And maybe you can bring your customer on, and he could do it as a service offering for his customer and make a book for them, for their customer.
Yeah, because I think about it like that. I saw at the I always came up from Emerging Americas, and I forgot. My God, now you remind me like I hate you. But they had a ChatGPT version that it basically will read manuals from the company, company manuals, and then obviously those are not available at ChatGPT because they're privately owned by the company.
Yep.
So they will do this integration to the manuals, the company, like let's say procedures, processes, from insurance to okay, what's the ethics department has to do, all those little things. And they load all this information into ChatGPT version that is inside the company. Okay. And then you can chat with this bot and ask questions about the company.
What is our company policy on paid leave?
Exactly. Okay. What's like how many weeks do I have for on vacation? And then ChatGPT will be like, you only have 3 days because you already took 14 weeks, whatever, something, whatever like that.
My entrepreneur mind is racing here, thinking that you've got a couple of opportunities right away. The ebook that you can create. So one of the things that is a major driver are CTAs, and one of the CTAs that is very popular are ebooks, downloadable books.
Of course,
so,
of course.
If you have the ability to create those in shortstead, that's great. So you could actually create from the book that you have and Dan, this dovetails right into SEO Turbo, right?
Yeah.
So you have those landing pages that are CTA driven that go back and drive to the hub site. That primary site has the CTA and gathers the information. You deliver that ebook, and you're talking about a minute and a half transaction, from search found, CTA click through to the site, download or deliver an ebook, and everybody, the prospects got the information in the ebook. The company that's published the ebook has a new contact, whether it's a lead, prospect, whatever. So you've got a whole cycle that you can automate.
There's another step that I've been working on. I've been telling Edwin a long time, and it's the next step. And is the book is now an audio book, right?
Yeah,
because everybody goes to the gym and wants to listen to the audio book. But I could see one of your customers, they'd have download this ebook / audio book. So there's an ebook, but then they could listen to the ebook.
Yeah,
while they're working out.
The good thing is that you can link the two with Amazon Music, so you can load them in Amazon Music, and then you can we can sell it for for 1 cent, let's say, just to a symbolic amount. And then they can use their Amazon podcast app to listen to the audiobook, or they can throw it into the Kindle, and then they can read it with their Kindle, right? Like a lot of people do that. So there's a lot of advantage of having the ebook, right? And so you're going to be having this podcast maybe, and this is the also an interesting part for that. We hired 3 high school students that are helping out with that. So I'm training them in this project, right? They're going to be showcasing the use of ChatGPT and AI, hopefully for the May 26th
AI event,
AI Connect or AI Day, whatever you want to call it. And I forgot to mention, Oracle is going to be sponsoring it.
Oracle sponsoring. All right.
Oracle is coming, actually. Oracle is going to do a presentation.
Terrific.
Oracle AI, obviously. And we may have 3 guests that will help, very high caliber AI people. And the dean of the Florida Atlantic University, I saw her today at the Emerge event, just by pure coincidence. And then I said, "Oh, what are you running this AI event?" I was like, "Oh," and immediately he called the AI director.
Gotcha.
He's like, "Take care of Edwin." He's like, "Okay." So he also going to help.
Before we finish up, is there any blockchain thing you want to talk about?
Well, actually, I have one blockchain thing that I wanted to run by Bobby. Like, maybe he can help us market this, because this is an NFT phone number. It's an NFT. So basically, we mint the NFT with a phone number in it, with a phone, an identifier that will be able to receive a phone call, or you can make a phone call. So then in that way, basically, the NFT becomes your identifier and a way to be located and a way to be to his service. So you come to this website, and I don't have the video on that right now. They cannot show it, but ideally, you go to this website, you have the NFT in your wallet, and automatically you get provision, and then you can make a phone call to one of your friends. Your friend's going to see that incoming call is coming from the NFT, or you can authenticate the call now, because it's like you can say, okay, receive a text message. Do you want to authenticate the call? You can say yes, okay, and then it sends you a challenge to you. And then you can see, okay, this is the proof of profile. This is me, right?
So there's some things that go on with this, Bobby, that so this NFT makes it so that the phone number can be sold to anybody else. You could take your number and sell it. You can you can do a bunch of things with it.
Yeah, you can basically, like, ideally we can mint the numbers or the identifiers, and people will pick the best numbers, just like domain names, right? That are sold. So we were looking at some of those. There have some .eth numbers right now, ETH domains that are sold by $3,000. Like, they charge in 2 ETH, 3 ETH. So that's a lot of money on the blockchain. But that's one project that you're interested. Is hot. And I have the good news is that I have some guys that are really interested in investing right now. So of course, marketing needs to be heavy, because I have some experience with Discord servers and all the stuff, so we can help with that. But it still needs a lot of obviously get into the masses, right? And that's where we need a heavy lifting marketing company.
So in the end, it's basically a phone call between any two devices. The NFT allows it to be extendable and sellable. You could give the number to somebody.
Yeah, basically,
Or
if
sell it to
somebody steals
somebody.
your wallet, then that's it.
But I'll tell you where when he was mentioning this to me, I deal with a lot of law firms, Bob. We've told you that in the past.
Right.
The law firms they all use today CallRail. And what they want with CallRail is a different number, so they know if they'll come up with 10 different numbers. They'll have every medium with a number. Bob, you've dealt with that too?
Yeah.
In each medium, they want a different phone number, and CallRail will split it so they can track it all. So I think the CallRail market could be a potential opportunity here.
Yes, of course.
Especially since these numbers, it's a block of numbers that you could like move over and use over here.
Yeah, now I can move it to know somebody else, right? That's like
because the issue really in everything is time. Like Bobby, if he has 4 customers that all have CallRail, he'll go insane. So if he has a block of numbers that he use for any customer, now we're into potentially something where he could have his block of numbers that he could allocate and put it on any site he wants, and then that's their number today. Because otherwise, you have to go back to CallRail and create a whole brand new account. It's a big pain. You have to pay the monthly service. You have to set everything up. You have to do all the configuration. So I think if there was some flexibility, right, Bobby, if there was some flexibility in numbers that you could just have a block that you could move and say, now that number is for this. If you had that flexibility, is that?
Yeah, that's totally flexible.
The
that's more like a higher level software stuff that we will have to do.
Yeah.
Right now, it's more at the lower level, just to make phone calls, right? That's more like an application level.
Yeah.
But we definitely that's a use case that I never thought of.
Understand, Bobby, you don't have to go to any phone, any place. You just have a number. You just go and say, I want the number, grab it, pay for it, and you have it.
And you have it in your wallet. And then whenever you go to the website, it says we support the NFT phone number. You show the wallet, you load the wallet, connect the wallet to the site, and make a phone call.
But when you make a call, you are from a browser making a call, right?
Yes, from the browser.
So it's a little different than a call. But you know what's interesting? It is an evolution of numbers almost going away. Because he's saying number, Bobby, but it could be like,
it could be
Transylvania 15000.
Yeah, it could be dangudima.eth. So
it doesn't matter what
I call dangudima.eth. That's his phone number.
What he's talking about is the next evolution, which is really Skype. Skype did this. But the whole problem with Skype is you have to go into Skype and you have to load that stupid program.
You need to buy Skype. You need to put
it was
money
a problem.
in there. You say
this
whatever.
is eliminating that. So you're still in product market fit. That's what we call it, Bobby. He's still in product market fit.
But I showed a demo to this investor actually, and he's like, he called me yesterday. He's like, I mean, what do you want? I was like, oh,
okay,
shit.
But you need to build all that administration. Bobby, I tell this to everybody. It's like all the, I had an entrepreneur come to me about 6 months ago and say, I want you to build a sophisticated real estate management program. And I'm like, okay, you got all the functions lined up. I said, but that's only 20% of the work. 80% is the login, the administration, the settings. So this is the same thing. You've built this tool. You have this tool, Edwin, but I'm telling you, 80% of it is the whole thing around it.
80% of the stuff is the thing that you don't see. That's what people don't understand sometimes is that 80% of that, 80% of the work is the actual the tedious process that nobody wants to do when they do a startup, right? But that's the day-to-day operation of the business. That's where the money flows. That's why you have the customer support. That's why you have like accounting, billing, and all these sort of things there. Yeah, they're the ones that handle the business.
Edwin, I don't have anything else this week that I need to talk about. I always have something to talk about. Today's a quiet week for me. But is there anything else you need to talk about?
No, I'm very happy to meet Bobby, and then we're more than happy to bring him on board with his very well experienced knowledge on SEO, because honestly, any entrepreneur needs it. And if you can help all entrepreneurs and be your customers and they can increase their visibility, we have like 10, 15 projects that need your help right now.
He I would describe him, because I'm meeting all kinds of digital agencies and all kinds of people. He is a real concierge agency. So he really works with the customers. Everybody else seems to be like rushing it off and giving it to other people.
Okay, so why don't we let him to wrap up and give us some words of advice for those people looking for marketing help, and then they have unfortunately failed, or they have found like a roadblock, and they need somebody like Bobby to make sure that they have a better reach to their customers.
Well, best tip that I can give anybody who's doing any kind of marketing, specifically in the digital world, is to plan. Make yourself an organized plan. The number one fail that we see from people, whether they're working with an agency or trying to do it themselves, is that they don't put out a plan in advance. We we like to do quarterly planning. We like to plan 3 months out, whether it doesn't matter what type of business. It can be a professional, it can be an attorney, a doctor, it can be products and services. Understanding your business and thinking forward instead of reacting to the moment is going to make the difference in how well your whole campaign works and how successful, what your results will be. So that would be the biggest compliment that I would say to any kind of plan is to think forward. Don't be reactionary.
Excellent. I think that's something entrepreneurs, they believe they have a plan, and the plan is, I think they need experts like us to say, look, you don't really have a marketing campaign. You need to reach out to Bobby or here. Dan is the go-to person for marketing stuff right now. We have some other people that are trying to join, but the marketing is not their expertise very well. But certainly we'll listen to your advice, and we'll bring you again in other shows. And thanks again for joining at TGI Fridays.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it very much.
All right, Dan.
Okay.
Have a great weekend.
Bobby will be in touch, and
Thanks.
have a great week, everybody. And we'll next time we'll get back into some. Usually, Bobby, we get into like very detailed AI and machine learning and blockchain and NFTs and just everything going on in conferences. And this is also about the South Florida tech community and who follow this, and they'll listen to this. And if they need to find you, we didn't get into that. They need to find you.
ResourceShark.com.
Just go to ResourceShark.com and connect with you right through that site, right?
Absolutely. Phone numbers, emails, contacts, text, everything. Every digital communication format you could want.
Gotcha. And if they're looking for if they believe in domain authority and they need more inbound, really good, directory listings, and they want to get one and they know it's yours, they just need to go to ResourceShark.com, and that's where you start to get a really good directory listing.
There you
Excellent. Go. All right, guys. Have a great weekend.
Thank you very much.
All right. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Take care.